We had him for a second. All right, we've got Mike McCarthy.
Season is really to be consistent. What we talked about, we've been able to generate an enormous number of reps for our young players. So as we walk into the meetings tomorrow, I think we'll have clear information to make some hard decisions.
Does a day like today make you question the depth of what you actually have in the back end of the roster?
Oh, I don't think so. I think it's like anything in this time of year. It's not who you play. It's how you play your guys. Regardless of the matchups and how it sorts out on the other side of it. Because I had no idea what their plan was going in, how long their stars are going to play and all that. So I've always felt that's irrelevant. It's just to get the combination of sets for your players and create. You're looking for a young guy to step up and do some things, and there was moments that we had that. But I mean, most of our issues were self-inflicted in the second half. I felt like we were ebb and flow there in the first half, and it was starting to get some momentum. Particularly at the end of the second quarter. So, would have liked to seen a cleaner game from our guys in the second half. It didn't happen, but like I said, the best thing is the amount of football that particularly our draft class and our younger players were able to participate in the whole preseason.
With a little less than 2 weeks here to the opener, how do you assess where you stand and how much work needs to be done to be ready for that opener?
I mean, Captain Obvious, we're full steam ahead to Tampa. I mean, we've lost some opportunities to practice, with Dak. So, now that he's back, it's, our focus really, part of Kellen's focus and Dak's focus really has been this past week. We need to get as much in as we possibly can between now and the Tampa Bay game. So our focus is on Tampa.
Yeah, you want to evaluate the young guys today, but you also kept 30 guys out. Was that keeping them healthy? That's also part of the focus for Tampa.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's in a normal setting of camp, we may have been able to do a little more. Work on the first game in this last week. This is a new schedule with the 3 preseason games. I know we played the fourth with the added one early, but having the bye week before the first game, and on top of the bye week, there's certain mandates. Whether it's 3 or 4 days off during that bye week. So there's some things you got to work through. So I would have liked to maybe spent more time on Tampa this past week. It just didn't work out that way.
What were you able to learn today about Cooper and Gilbert and where things stand with that?
I thought they were solid. I thought both those guys, did what they had clean plays. So much of playing the quarterback position in the preseason, and especially in the second half of preseason games, because I've coached it that way for decades, is things are going to go wrong. And, Ben DiNucci had a number of situations where the route wasn't right or a different situation. You got to play through that. That's part of the adversity of playing preseason football. You don't like it. It's not okay that it goes on. But every quarterback that's played in this league, particularly, in his younger years and plays in the second half of his games.
Come on, man.
Stuff like that happens. And, that's part of, handling adversity. So, we weren't very clean in the passing game in the second half, but we have to respond and I think that there was a little silver lining there with the last drive, going down and
Lord, come on, man.
Coach, how do you get with 11 days until that season opener? How do you get, if any, rust off of Dak? What do these next week and a half look like for Dak, getting him ready for regular season speed?
Well, it's really what I just said. We're going to do everything we can within, because the players are off till Thursday, so we won't be back together. Our first team meeting will be Thursday. We go Thursday, Friday, and then they're off again Saturday. And this is the new schedule. And then, so we'll go Thursday, Friday, they're off Saturday, and we'll go Sunday to Wednesday and get on the plane and go get it. So we'll do everything we can in that time frame.
How did Doug handle his play calling responsibilities today, and what did you learn from that situation?
Doug? Oh, I thought Doug called a good game. He was quick with his calls. He was assertive. The adjustments was clean. I thought Doug and Joe both did a nice job today with their communication. And the personnel and
Stop kissing the pig, man. Take that lipstick off the pig. Come on, man.
Both wish the result was a little different, but I thought
get your pig.
Did a really nice job.
Get out the way.
I did not.
I
don't
thought
have
that
any
Doug
issues.
Nussmeier did a good job. Come on.
One of the positives you talked about before, you just feel good about how quickly this defense came together with some things they did in the preseason and being able to work Parsons in the way you did and what he can do for you.
I'm sorry, David. How quick? What came together?
Just defensively, how you were able to come together. Is that one of the positives? And maybe Micah Parsons getting an idea he can do a lot of different.
I definitely. I think just the depth that we have on defense is clearly evident. You can see that very early in camp, and the defense, frankly, was ahead of the offense. Almost the whole way. I mean, the offense had
Facts.
with some good practices there against those guys on defense. But I'm very happy with the different combinations of players, the different the personnel group flexibility that it gives us. But I think our defense has had a good training camp.
Mike, what's it like being a head coach these next couple of games when you're having to make these tough calls and talk to players? Take us in the room and what that experience is like for you.
These are the worst days. Just even the call up there. I mean, you lose by a couple scores, and you should be feeling one way. And all I could be thinking, all I've been thinking about is what's in front of me. So the next 48 hours is clearly the worst part of the job.
Best part of the job, man.
With Cooper and Garrett, how close has that been in your mind, and how will you evaluate the full body of work now?
Well, I mean that's really what these next 24 hours will be. We'll watch it as a staff tomorrow, and then we'll get together with with Jerry and Steven and Will tomorrow afternoon, and we'll start the process.
What did you like in what you saw from guys like Rondell and Israel on the interception?
I think once again I thought we were starting to get some momentum there right before the half. That was a big play, and that was something that we really, particularly our young guys, we were really emphasizing is more hits on the ball. We need to get more hits on the ball. I think they've done a good job with that in practice, but the application to the game is not quite what it needs to be. So that'll be obviously a big focus for us as we move into Tampa.
These 11 days go by fast or slow?
It'll go by fast once.
Yeah, it go by fast, yeah.
The next 2 days will be slow.
Coach, how do you feel about that challenge? You said full speed ahead to Tampa. You got
No more excuses.
reigning Super Bowl champs. It doesn't get much bigger than that. How do you feel about that challenge?
I look forward to it. I mean, we talked a little bit last night. It's we started this quest on April 19th. There's 300 days that are available to reach a Super Bowl. So, and everything in between there is you have to keep your eye on the target, one day at a time. So, I mean, it's the first game. It's the most important game because it's the next game. And there's some good coaching one-on-one, stuff for you. But I just think that, I've played in that game. I've been on both sides of the field in the opening game. It's a ton of energy. It's a great game to compete in, and our guys are, trust me, we're looking forward to it, and we can't wait to get there.
How active do you think you guys might be in the waiver period? Last year there was no preseason film to look at and get reads on guys. Do you think the teams will be more active?
I mean, that's a great question. I mean, really, how's it going to go this year? I just think it's no different than, answering these questions before the draft. I mean, it's been a while since we've been in a normal year. So I'm curious to see how, if it's going to be very active or it's going to be slow. So it's clearly a wait to see, opportunity. And so we'll see how it goes. I don't know what to expect, to be honest with you.
Any update on Lil Collins' stingers? Have they subsided, or do you think it's going to be a problem going forward?
Just really just held him out of practice yesterday, and then wasn't available today. So I mean, I would think he would be available next week. I have nothing to think differently at this point.
This is the one coach that don't know nothing.
Played
Man.
quite a bit tonight. Have you got a better feel of where he is coming off the injury, coming all the way through preseason?
Not really. I mean, I'm anxious to watch him. Watch the video on him. I mean, he's done a really nice job. Arrived late and just we wanted to be very sure before we put him out there. So you wish you had a little more opportunity for him, but he's been an excellent fit for us. I mean, he's done everything. He's hit every target up to this point. So I'm anxious to watch the tape.
Mike, just was announced that the Saints are going to be practicing here this week with the hurricane. Can you just kind of speak to?
Saints in town.
Each other out and when circumstances like this, emerge.
Oh, definitely, and call the Jones family, because I mean no one does it better than they do. So yeah, it's in having an opportunity to coach in New Orleans, and gone through this, the hurricane challenge. I mean, it's a tremendous amount of stress on on the families, of the Saints, and obviously the whole region, the Gulf Coast region. So, my heart goes out to those guys. So, it's just glad to be, from the Jones families. I'm sure it's just great to be in a position to help.
From what you know now, I think you still have 4 guys on the COVID list. Will they still be on the COVID list by the time you need to make your cuts on Tuesday, or do you expect any of them to be off? And how's that?
My understanding is if it stays clean from this point forward, that I think, come Thursday we'll have everybody in the building.
Coach, how do you feel this year going into the regular season compared to last year, your first year as head coach here in Dallas?
I mean, there's no comparison. I think it's, this time last year we were trying to figure out, with the COVID protocol really, just, how the meetings were set up. So it was just a totally different climate. I think just the way our football operations has handled, the challenge this past week is a great example of how different it is. So there is a sense of regularity and normalcy to this season, and it's my job to try to keep it that way as much as possible for the players. And I think with the resources and experiences from last year, we'll be better served to anticipate these challenges.
How confident are y'all in Greg's health?
Last one.
Rich said, last one.
And did you see as much as you wanted to from him today?
Yeah, definitely. I was excited to get that shot right before halftime. I just wanted to see the ball come off his foot. Frankly, from my angle, I thought it was in. And then just get a couple kickoffs. So that's to me, that's exactly what we needed. So it was good to get him out there.
There's Mike McCarthy, the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. When we return on the Dallas Cowboys postgame show, Brian Broaddus, Brad Sham, Ari Temkin, and Barry Church. You're listening to the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
They got some heavy hitters over there on the 105.3 The Fan website, going over the post-game stuff, and we'll be tuning in to them guys if that's okay with you all. Let's see what we have here. We have a donation.
Watched Brady yesterday and they are going to run tempo, probably no huddle. Quinn better not get cute with subs, player best players, and keep it simple.
Yeah, you got to keep it simple. And Tom Brady, anything that you try to throw at him, he's seen it before. He's seen it before, but the historic data shows that if you blitz him inside the middle, so Big Bo, he was getting thrown around today. Number 98 was getting thrown around today. He probably need to eat some more sandwiches today, so he can get ready to get back to being Big Bo. But number 99 shined tonight, or today, basically. So maybe we can create pressure from the inside on a consistent level with 94 on the edge, as well as D-Law. He should be back week 1 on the edge. And then if we can get pressure from the inside, yeah, and of course blitzing through the A-gap and these sorts of things, like Vach, when he called into the show yesterday, he was saying, if we can do those things, and that's an order of if. Remember, we can only watch the game. We don't have no impact on the game. We don't. We can't call the plays. We can't have the change of the circumstances that will happen on the field. But if these guys play like that, then we will be victorious. We'll be on the victory end, because the thing is with Tom, you got to rattle him and you got to get to him early and often. You can't get to him and then you win. Let's say it was 14-0. Tom Brady, you see the man is still playing football. He don't know when to stop. He's going to continue to claw at you. He's going to continue to fight. He's going to continue to play through the echoes of the whistle. So we got to be ready. And one of the things that I picked up, Mike McCarthy, to me, he just sounds so lethargic. He sounds so unsure. He sounds not always ready for the battle. He just seems as if one of the reporters asked him, hey, what did you have for breakfast? His first word is going to be like, I don't know. But it was good. That's just who Mike McCarthy is. That's just what I'm coming around to look at. It's just what he is. He's just always unsure. And he's so, how can I put this? I think that Ben DiNucci, the way he talked about it, he'd have made the doggone team. He done crafted ways of saying that the players didn't run the right routes. That, hey, he did look good on that final drive, but didn't talk about the near interception type of situation. DiNucci make this team. It'll be one of those veto moments from maybe the Jones family. But if it was up to Mike McCarthy, his son, Danucci, that made the team just because he threw a touchdown pass. Yeah, it's crazy. It's still on commercial break. Appreciate everybody for jumping in. Shout out to you, Miss Jackie. Thank you so much for jumping in. Lady Jackie, Miss Jackie always in the house supporting. Ross Man, fat groin injury. We'll let Trevor run free, no pressure. What Cowboys Nation? Shout out to you, Miss Jackie. Yeah, he did have a groin injury, and groin injuries are those things that linger around. It just linger around. Almost got picked twice in this game. Yeah. Danucci's is terrible. Dude, I missed the whole game driving so far. What happened? Lawrence King. Cowboys lost 34 to, I think, 14, something like that, or 34 to 17. 34-13, something like that. It's still on commercial break. But, yeah, appreciate everybody that tuned in. And trust me, I'm not sitting here saying that I want to win the game so I can walk around and say, hey, we at least won one game in the preseason. It's about the individuals. To me, this game, 38 Sean, we found a nickname for 38. 38 special. And first 48 showed his butt off. And number 99, those are the three guys that gave us a lot of promise in this game. The running backs, they fought the best fight that they could. But, I believe both of those guys are out. I think 46 made a big play on special teams. 46, he should be the third running back. 46. Don't get rid of him. Figure out a way to keep him. Isaac did good. I like what Isaac did. And Isaac, even through the echoes of the whistle, he was laying on guys. He showed aggressiveness. He didn't help nobody up. I like Isaac, man. Number 60.
It's on Twitter, correct? Yeah. 2014. We all know how that shook out. We got robbed for sure.
Were you on the field?
Not for that play.
Oh, no. Oh, you're talking about the one in Green Bay?
Yeah, I'm talking about the one in Green Bay.
Hold on a minute. How much time was left?
After that Dez catch, not catch?
Yeah.
What, a minute 30?
Excuse me, there was 4 minutes left.
Barry would have made a play.
Aaron, you guys could not get to Aaron Rodgers on one leg.
I'll tell you what happened.
Aaron Rodgers was going to
DeMarco would still be running. If Peppers didn't just randomly go like this and bat his arm, and there goes the fumble. There's the game.
Huge play.
That was huge. He would still be running.
Aaron Rodgers was on one leg.
And they couldn't get anywhere near him, and that's how we got gifted with Greg Hardy.
That's true.
The next year.
Yeah.
Because Aaron Rodgers, he was going to catch the ball, it was going to be a touchdown, and then Aaron Rodgers was going to take him down the field, and they were going to score.
You guys think Brad's really hacked off about the game he just did?
Yeah, let me start this. Okay. So David says, flip side to that law, since you're absolute certain Dallas will have an awesome season for Mike McCarthy, we get recognition as well as when he's right. If you're going to give him the negative, will you give him the props as a positive? I give him the same level of props that we would give Barry Switzer. Huh? Are we giving Barry Switzer the same level of props? Let me be real. Y'all know when y'all come here, I'm going to cut it right down the middle. I'm not saying that Mike McCarthy is trash. I'm not saying that even Kellen Moore is trash. And excuse me, today, Kellen Moore should have been calling those plays, not Doug Nussmeier. Kellen Moore still got things that he got to improve on. He's not ready yet. That's the reality of it. He's a third-year offensive coordinator. He should be calling these plays, regardless of the situation. He's not ready yet. Excuse my passion. I'm just a very passionate person, by the way. I'm not mad. I'm just passionate. So don't get it twisted, Cowboy Nation. I'm telling y'all the truth. He's not ready yet. So he should be calling every play. These moments should be for Kellen Moore, not Doug Nussmeier. Ooh, sir. But the same thing is with Mike McCarthy. It seems to me he just sometimes at the moment just does not be prepared in a sense. And I'm not coming off with the feeling that I see that his astuteness or his readiness is there. I digress.
No. I understand. No, I'm just saying, though, when you talk about interruptions of your quarterback, your offensive line, that to me is like I'm trying so hard to get a gauge on this team, and I don't know if I have a great gauge.
I don't struggle with that with the offense because if the offensive tackles are compromised the way they were last year, we know what's going to happen. We saw it in the Super Bowl. We saw it all last year.
Right.
I'm not the least concerned about the quarterback situation.
No.
Because I've seen enough of Dak Prescott on the practice field. Look, they know what they're doing. They know what they're dealing with. He's going to be fine. And if he's not, to go back to the story that we cleaned up and tried to tell during the game.
Yeah, the Tom Moore story.
Yeah. I mean, if people didn't hear it, Tom Moore, one of the greatest offensive coaches ever in this league.
And he was Peyton Manning forever.
And he was he was the Colts' offensive brain trust. And they never practiced the second quarterback with first-team reps. And the reporters said, why don't you give your second guy reps? And I had to edit it and clean it up.
Yeah.
But what Tom Moore said, if Peyton Manning, if 18 gets hurt, we're sunk.
Yeah.
We don't practice.
That's good. That's good. That's good philosophy there. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not. I mean, yes, I think it's important to know who your backup quarterback is going to be if you're talking about a few series, a game or two. If we're talking about a situation like they ran into last year, we don't practice sunk.
Right.
So that is of less concern. What I do, so I don't share your. What am I looking at here? I think that from that standpoint, I think I know what we're looking at. I'm just
thinking about time on task. You know, I mean, and then if you evaluate the practices and stuff like that, and nobody plays their guys in these preseason games, I get it. But to me, it's like there's some unknown out there. You know, like with the defense, of course, but. With the offense, the time together.
So that yes.
I mean, if you're evaluating practices, sure.
Yes,
okay.
But nothing is like it used to be. Nothing's like. Would you rather have Prescott play a quarter in the?
I would rather him practiced all
sure,
training camp.
and have him get like 15 snaps in one game and 30 snaps in another with the offense. Yes. Would you rather? Yes. I just think in the world of the NFL today, we have to leave the biases of how we learned it at the door. But
right.
I wish our audience could have seen Barry Church's face when he heard McCarthy saying the players are off Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
I looked at him too.
But that's a union rule.
Right.
Union rule,
So those are the coaches wouldn't have that.
Sure.
That's what's going on today, and so everybody's playing by those.
So what do you
same
think?
rules.
What do you think the identity of this offense is going to be this year under McCarthy? Is it going to be like a pass happy with Dak back there, or are we going to get back to Zeke?
We're not going to get back to Zeke like Norv Turner days, but Mike McCarthy has said we got to run the ball.
Okay, well, how about Norv Turner days of winning Super Bowls where you used to build lead on us in Green Bay and then hammer it at us on the second half?
That's not how the NFL is played today. But I do.
But you build a lead by throwing the football.
Well, you score your points.
Yeah.
You score your points by throwing. Then you have to be able to run out the clock. That to the beauty of that team was.
Right. That was hard.
If they
to play,
had a lead.
Yeah.
Forget it.
With 5 minutes to play.
No question.
You just go get.
Oh, I lived that.
Just get a jump on traffic.
Yeah, I lived that.
You're not going to see the ball again. And there aren't many teams who can do that today. They don't practice for it. They don't build their roster for it.
Right.
But until we see differently, I'm going to take him at his word that he wants to run the ball. And that, you've got an Ezekiel Elliott who looks to be in the best condition in about 3 or 4 years.
Did he say the same things last year about running the football?
Nobody said anything last year. They didn't know come here from Sikkim last year because they didn't have an off season. They were dealing with COVID. Zeke had COVID before anybody ever came in. You will never convince me, even though he denies it, that did not impact his durability throughout the year. I'm going to believe, until they show me differently, that they intend to run the ball and use that as their impetus to set up play action, open it up. They've got some pretty good receivers. You got these 2 tight ends. I mean, there's so many questions. If we were really doing like a 6-hour talk show.
Oh, we do that Monday through Friday.
I understand. I would throw things out like this in these next 3 days when we got a full week with no game.
Sure.
At the end of this year, which tight end do you want to keep, Jarwin or Schultz?
Yeah.
I would throw that one out there to talk about. I would throw this out.
Silly talk. You keep
Okay, we're going to go in the room tomorrow, and you don't like what you're seeing in backup quarterback right now.
Sure.
And you're going to say, you know what? I don't care. Pay Nick Foles $10 million. Give him a 3rd-round draft choice. I want something, and someone else is going to stand up and say, excuse me, that's what we had last year.
Yeah. And won 4 games with him.
Yeah. So
paying doesn't necessarily mean you get the best one.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So someone is going to have to be convincing about why what's available is better than what's here.
When I go to drafting next year, if I have compensatories, I'm always going to use a compensatory pick on a quarterback now.
Ron Wolf taught you that,
Yeah, they had 3rd and 4th round, 5th round guys. You got to draft a quarterback and
Get
develop
'em.
that quarterback.
Let me ask you something, because last year we go back to their 1-3 start, and though Dak was putting us some prolific numbers, they were turning the football over a ton.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, when we go back and look and say, oh, the season was derailed by injuries, I think that sort of overshadows or belies some of the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So going back to Broadus's point about what are we looking at here, what do we think about the perception expectations for this team, what went into those turnovers last year, and do you think that's something that will be changed this year?
So the most egregious, I think it's fair to say that the number of pass interceptions that this quarterback is going to throw because of poor decisions, that's going to be minimal.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to make
Facts.
That's not
Shout out
what
to
I'm
you,
worried
Jordan.
about.
Appreciate
so
you.
He fumbled the ball like 2 or 3 times. The running back fumbled the ball 5 times. That he hadn't done that since he was a rookie. So I can't do anything if they're going to fumble the ball.
Right.
What's going to be different, I think, is heightened awareness. Awareness. This is what I'm trusting. That awareness on both of their parts is going to enhance ball security when it comes to fumbles. And then I'm going to plan on my field position not being so disadvantageous.
Yes.
And my complementary football not being a myth because my defense can't stop anything.
Right.
So, I mean, they were like this poor Cooper Rush today. They had no chance most of last year. You start that offense, turn the ball over with that defense.
Forget it.
Now you're climbing up it. You got no chance.
Yeah. Brad and Brian, can't wait to be with you guys 10 days from now as we kick off the regular season. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
But it's great having Barry Church on this team.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Feels great.
Can we keep Barry Church on this team?
Church going to tell you from the football perspective.
Tim Collins just said, excuse me?
He looked away.
Well,
Well, it's funny because they've been telling
remember before when I said the look that he gave us was we'll see? That look was go ask your mother.
The look away.
Because Barry's got a lot of, this is what we do during the regular season throughout this time. And it's Barry's like, that's cool, but I'm not going to be, unless you know something I don't know.
I won't be here.
I'm not going to be here.
One of my strong points, spending other people's money.
Barry has been fantastic. You're absolutely right. Brad Sham, Brian Broadus, thank you so much, gentlemen. Brad Sham, Brian Broadus joining us here on the Dallas Cowboys postgame show. Home to over 8,500 of your favorite electronic games, more than 1,000 table game seats, and 1,400.
Appreciate that sponsor read there by 105.3 The Fan. Be sure to check them out. This episode is going to be a short one, so I'm going to let them bounce some more ideas around, and then I'm going to give you guys my thoughts. But let's not get this thing twisted now. I'm not sitting here saying that I'm mad that we lost because we want to win games in preseason. No, I'm looking at the individual players. I'm looking at, hey, like my guy Chris Davis, he said he don't give a hill of beans about preseason game. Yeah, we don't give a hill of beans about preseason game, but we can naturally see that 33 do not belongs on the field, right? Let's be real with that one. 33 do not belongs on the field. We 33 do not belong on the field. They on commercial break. We can naturally see that some of these guys, as far as the play design and the calls that were played, like Doug Nussmeier, I don't care what Mike McCarthy had to say. That wasn't a well-executed plays that he was crafted up and called out. I don't care. He don't need to be calling out plays. I don't care what he did in Alabama. You know, he don't need to be calling plays. This should be a rhythm. This should be a moment that we see the young guy, Kellen Moore, getting those reps, getting those times in to call out and craft up plays, by the way. You know? And I got all the historic data to prove what I'm talking about. You know, you got to have time. You got to have time to finesse your talent, to finesse your skill set, but not time to test this thing around. That's why I was mad a couple of weeks ago. Law, why you mad that Biotis is on the bench and they trying to figure out this thing with Connor Williams and whoever else playing center? No, Tyler Biotis need to have his butt at center so he can get those reps in. We don't need to be playing around with this. We don't. I digress. Yeah, and I'm not mad. I'm just passionate, especially when I'm trying to get out my points in this short time. Yeah, they're still on commercial break. I don't even know 33 name. Yeah, Chris Davis. But I'm not talking to you, but I'm talking to what you said earlier. And I understand. We shouldn't have known 33's name by now. We shouldn't know him. 2 words, C.J. Beathard. Yeah. C.J. was trying to get us back from when we beat the heck out of him when he was playing for the 49ers. Yeah, appreciate you, Auntie. Auntie Reviews. Y'all make sure y'all check out her page. She's right there. Yeah, the lovely Auntie. Tracy, appreciate you. Most of the coaching in the NFL is not good. This is from Tracy, too. Yeah. The evaluation part, 99. Like I said right before I close out the live stream of the previous live stream, to me, 99 showed up in this game. 48, first 48, he showed up in this game. Shout out to Luke Gifford. Luke Gifford did a good job in this game. And 38 special, he did a wonderful job. And we're naming primarily people that's on the defensive side of the coin. Mike McCarthy did lament it earlier. Hey, the defense was ahead of the offense. The defense was ahead of the offense. And then he said, hey, we would like to get more snaps and more reps out of Dak Prescott, but we didn't get a chance to see that. Now, what the problem is, when you don't have a good backup quarterback, it flows with the other accuracy of your engagement of evaluating your wide receivers. It's hard to evaluate any of those wide receivers with Cooper Rush out there throwing the ball. You know, it's hard to evaluate any of those guys when you got Gary Gilbert that's holding on forever to the ball. You know, had me singing, forever, my lady, it's like a dream. You know, he was holding it close, keeping it warm. He wasn't even ready to throw the ball. I'm talking about the dude was right behind him like, come on, get the ball out. Now that guy, he's going to go into the locker room saying, man, Pookie, Ray, Shirley, Kamika, I can't make the team because I was wide open, but newsflash, Gilbert, we know who's eating his grapes, going to hold on to the ball. How can they evaluate that? I'm getting cut. Now I need to go somewhere else to prove that I'm a good wide receiver. It's hard to evaluate, but that falls on the coaching. That falls on the staffing members. The coach, look, I understand what Will McClay, Chris Hall, and all of those boys do, even John Stephen Jones, of bringing in the talent. But at some point, the coach need to weeble-wobble himself down there in that room and say, hey, the note you just can't throw, man. It's going to be another 2 to 3 years for me to get this thing in the right places for him. Hey, Gilbert, somebody's eating his grapes. I need talent. Y'all gonna have to go back to the drawing board. I can only coach so much. And with Forrest gone, we're not getting the proper. Y'all ain't understanding. We're not getting the proper evaluation of these wide receivers and tight ends.
Your mortgage?
Let me know if I'm wrong. Let me know if I'm wrong. These guys, man, these backup quarterbacks, I'm like, come on. And we seeing the backup C.J. Beathard. They had the other guy out there, Lipton's Tea, whatever his name was, number 6. They throwing the ball at ease. Oh, newsflash. They were somehow, quote unquote, the other backup because they got rid of Gardner Minshew. So they was like the 4th quarterback. They're throwing the ball pretty good, you know. Let me know when I was wrong, you know. Come on, you know. Come on. Shout out to you, Miss Jackie. I'm just calling a spade a spade. I hope you guys are not getting it all twisted. But there was other backups, so they got rid of Gardner Minshew, right? Let me know if I'm wrong.
Complain about some of the things that we saw over the course of these 4 games of the preseason, but 0-4. I mean, again, we've said this every week. You got Ben DiNucci deciding games.
Really. And then in the whole second half. You know, and that's the thing we talked about when the game was going on is, you know, we thought we would see more of a Cooper Rush Gilbert battle. Like, I wouldn't be opposed to seeing, you know, Rush the whole first half, then let's see Gilbert the whole second half. I mean, because we know DiNucci's not making this squad. So to me, I thought we would have a more complete, you know, a quarterback battle between those two, and we only saw Cooper Rush for a couple series. Then we saw Gilbert basically for the rest of the half. But
politics.
To me, I thought we would have a more complete quarterback battle than what we saw today.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence was spectacular in this game.
Without a doubt.
11 of 12, 139 yards and 2 touchdowns. He was spectacular. He looked every bit the number 1 pick and you know, future Hall of Famer potentially.
He looked like Chris Collinsworth though.
Billed as. Cooper Rush started for the Cowboys 4 of 8 for 16 yards.
That's a far cry from what we saw last week. The efficiency of him last week against Houston to this. I mean, look, I understand he wasn't out there with CeeDee Lamb or Cooper or any of those guys, but that's what you're getting graded with. I mean, move the ball a little bit out there.
You're still NFL players.
It's still NFL players. You got to be able to move the ball a little bit out there. And
man, we love Barry Church.
Complete stagnant. Out of Gilbert, we saw a little bit more efficiency, but it wasn't that much better. And that's why, you know, I think I've seen what I needed to see. And I'll stay firm on. Look, I don't think either one of these guys, are going to be our backup for long when the season begins.
Here is Cooper Rush meeting with the media after a 4 of 8 for 16-yard performance.
Cooper, how do you think your day went today, and how do you think it impacted your chances of making the 53?
You know, hard to judge. I mean, not much action. We a couple third downs that want to have back. You know, we didn't convert, so. And in those drives early obviously sucks, but overall, I don't think too bad, but we'll see the film.
It's a large body of work where it won't just be today's game. I'm sure that'll determine the decision. How overall do you feel like you've been able to show over these past few months, including the spring?
Yeah, I think throughout camp and trying to get better and better, just getting those reps over and over again and getting a few more preseason games compared to like last year, we were just camp. I think it's real helpful. Get that on tape and in a game environment where you're out there commanding things, controlling things on your own. And so it felt good to have all those preseason games again. Camp went well, so we'll see.
Cooper, Jerry was saying today that he likes that Kellen feels that he can call the same plays for you as for Dak, even if it looks a little bit different. How do you feel like you can do in terms of running this offense, and how familiar are you after so many years?
Yeah, I think being familiar with it helps a lot. Knowing Kellen this whole time, same offense. I feel like I can go in there and we cannot miss a beat schematically and run our stuff, and that's the job as a backup, and that's what you try to do.
How do you think you'll spend these next few days? Do you just kind of stay by the phone? Do you try and get away, get out of the house? Just what do you think you'll be doing?
You need to get cut,
staying
man.
By the phone, that's usually how it works at the end of camp, and then just hanging out at home, enjoying some time off.
Period of waiting. I think that's the saw and the wait is the hardest part. What's that like, just going through this process that's ahead now?
Yeah, for a lot of guys, it's a stressful time for a lot of guys. You had a great opportunity to, be in an NFL camp, play preseason ball. Now it's kind of a waiting game. So it's kind of how it goes in this league. Everyone goes through it. But I think all the guys that played hard tonight, all the young guys in there, and
young guys.
It was fun to see them get some action.
What were your observations of Dak at practice last week, and how close does he look to being in regular season?
Yeah, he works his butt off getting back from the injury, and he's been throwing for a few weeks now, and he looked real good this week, I thought. Yesterday especially, we hit a red zone period, and I don't think he missed.
How last
Yep,
year
4
from Coach
touchdowns,
Boyd with Doug
the red
running
zone.
the offense instead of Kellen, and how does that change what y'all are doing on the field?
It was a lot of fun having Nuss call it and game plan all week with him. Obviously, he's got tons of experience being offensive coordinator and things like that. So it was a lot of fun. Same plays. It's not a whole new offense or anything. So kind of same execution mindset. I think it was a lot of fun.
Oh, really? A lot of fun.
No, it was all good today. It was good. We cleared it up.
There's Cooper Rush, perhaps the best quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. After a 4 of 8 for 16-yard performance. Garrett Gilbert was much better, 9 of 16 for 87 yards and a touchdown. Led 3 of the Cowboys' 5 touchdown drives this preseason.
I believe so, yeah.
3 of them led by Garrett Gilbert. And that obviously begs the question, so did we see enough from either of these guys to have one of them fulfill the back quarterback spot? Barry
You
Church
don't know.
said no. What do you say? 877-881-1053. 877-881-1053. You can call or text that number. We'll get to some comments on that exact question here in a moment. But first, let's pause 10 seconds for a
So, let me get this straight. He said this should be a stressful moment for a lot of people. You don't think that this should be a stressful moment for you, Cooper Rush? On top of that, let's keep in mind to put everything in context. Cooper Rush was the exact same guy that didn't make the squad over there in Giants land. Have you guys seen the quarterbacks over there in the New York Fighting Football Giants team? Y'all let me know if one of those quarterbacks or anybody to sneeze at over there. You know what I'm saying? Let me know how the quarterback situation or their quarterback room is over there. And I'm not hating that Cooper Rush. I'm just calling the spade a spade. And he ain't one of them. Right? I mean, come on, like you have any spade, you can cut the hearts. You can cut the diamonds, right? He ain't one of them, fam. And we're continuing to put the lipstick on the pig and say, yeah, these guys, it's pretty good right now. No, erase the lipstick out of the pig because the Lipton tea guy looked a little bit better last time I watched football, right? The C.J. Beathard looked better than this guy last night. Today. I don't even know what time I'm in right now. But it is crazy, Cowboy Nation. Good Lord, it's crazy. Let me see if they're still here. If not,
look, man, I didn't need to see that much from Danucci. I feel like we got cheated on a great quarterback battle between Rush and Gilbert.
Yeah,
and I just wish we would have seen more of those guys heading into the second half. Maybe they would have been able to pull out a little bit more, and we'd have been like, okay, he solidified himself as the backup. But right now, neither one of those guys showed me enough to promise a backup spot to one of them.
Again, it's really important to note that, this season is completely derailed without Dak Prescott. Right?
Exactly.
So the backup quarterback conversations always, it seems, perpetually there for any team that has, a viable starter at quarterback. And I don't want to diminish the importance of it. It is important, especially, maybe a spot start here or there if you do have some injuries in a long season. And obviously, if Dak is out for the season, different reality than, he's out for a few games, now you can have somebody that might.
But let me just say this right quick. The backup quarterback is not that important. You don't want them until you need them. But on top of that, the evaluation process of the tight ends and the wide receivers, by you having a subpar type of quarterback, especially as a backup, you can't get the true and the real evaluations of your wide receivers.
They went 5-0, and then they went to the playoffs, NFC Championship, all that good stuff. But for us, if Dak would have missed 1 or 2 games, we can already pencil those in as L's. I don't know how you feel about that, but
totally,
I would rather have somebody that can at least make the game competitive and at least give us a shot to win the game. And right now, I don't think we have that as a backup, but hopefully we don't even have to experience any of that. Hopefully Prescott comes in here, he's able to shake off any type of rust he has. That shoulder seems to be good. He seems to have a lot of zip on it from practice. We're able to keep him upright throughout the entire year, but if something were to happen, we need somebody there valuable that can back him up and make things competitive. And right now, I don't think we have that.
We did have one text come in from the 469 say Rush and Cooper basically the same quarterback, which is pretty funny.
They are.
He meant Gilbert, but he said Rush and Cooper.
They are
very similar guys.
Same people. It's
I know what he's saying.
I get to
Gilbert
see
and Rush
go
same
through progressions. Okay, my first guy's not there. Let me go second guy. All right, it's either all right. If that bomb's not there, let me check it down to here. It's not like like with Dak and with other, I'm not saying they're Dak Prescott or anything like that, but I would just love to see more of them going through their progression.
Totally.
More of them, okay, you know what, I don't like this play at the line. Let me check to this. Having a better understanding of how to get the most production out of your team, out of your offense, and I just don't see that from those two guys, And, we've given them plenty of opportunities. I mean, these guys have had the whole entire preseason to make a stand for themselves, and we're still here at the end of preseason asking the same question. Is the backup quarterback there? Yes or no?
I'm starting to feel more in line with your thinking here in terms of, look, there could be some guys available after cutdown day.
Facts.
Are the Eagles going to keep 3 quarterbacks? Let's go to the Eagles in particular, right? Are they going to keep, Jalen Hurts, Gardner Minshew, and Joe Flacco, or are they going to release one of those guys? And is that somewhere you'll look? Around the league, there are situations like that. The Bears, obviously, it's been well documented. I think the Bears are trying to get something in compensation for a guy like Nick Foles, but if they can't, maybe that's a guy you think about bringing in. There should be options available to them to get veteran-type players. The question is, would you prefer Garrett Gilbert, Cooper Rush, versus somebody that's in the open market? And you've said this before. Like, we've seen Gilbert in games. Yeah. It's hard to evaluate Cooper Rush because we've seen him play well in preseason games, but never in a regular season type environment. Garrett Gilbert has. So that should, in some capacity, give him somewhat of a leg up. And we've just seen more consistency from Gilbert, though we haven't seen much in terms of good offensive football for a long time, Barry.
And we haven't. We haven't seen good, consistent football. It's been sporadic. He might make a great throw here. Oh, man, you see the arm strength? He put that on a rope.
Right.
And then two plays later, it's a simple screen pass, and he overthrows it or gets intercepted. It's things like that. Those inconsistencies that have made this quarterback, quote unquote, battle kind of just like, man, what are we doing here? And,
real one. Yeah.
I imagine we can't have one of these guys have got to be the backup for week 1, because if we bring in some guy off the street, he's going to have to learn the playbook. He's going to have to go through all these COVID protocols and make sure he's okay to go before we even get him into the playbook. So one of these guys are definitely going to be our backup for week 1. Who that can be, I have no idea, because they both played extremely mediocre this preseason.
Mike Bassick from the Cowboys flagship station 105.3 Fan in Dallas-Fort Worth texting me, go get Shane Buechele.
Shane Buechele?
Former Michigan? Texas Longhorn, former SMU Mustang.
Okay.
Playing well with Kansas City. Is he a guy that's going to make their roster?
Could be. And I don't know.
I mean, Bassick brings up a great point on Buechele.
Texas,
but I think at the end of the day, there should be options available to the Cowboys should they want to go outside the organization to look at a backup quarterback.
And they're not all going to be extremely high priced. Like, we don't have, we're not going to have to go get a $10 million backup or even a $5 million backup. No. There's options out there to where, okay, this guy is, maybe either league minimum or just above that we can switch out a Gilbert for. We can switch out a Cooper Rush for. I think there's plenty of options out there, and they're going to have to do their due diligence to get that done, because I think, even though we don't want something crazy to happen to Dak, you got to always be prepared for that moment.
That's Barry Church. I'm Ari Temkin. The Dallas Cowboys postgame show is brought to you by Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. It's Miller time. Keep the texts and calls coming at 877-881-1053, asking you your thoughts on the backup quarterback situation here. Certainly nothing made itself obvious or definitive as the Cowboys' lackadaisical performance here offensively against the Jaguars, offensively and defensively, a 34-14 loss in the preseason finale. All right, plenty more to come, including audio, sound from the locker room, and something interesting I think Mike McCarthy said, plus Mike Fisher, all on the way. You're listening to the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
Okay, that was great, man, by those guys. Hey, be sure to check out 105.3 The Fan and all of what they do from here. I really appreciate everybody for jumping in, but I got family deals that I got to do now. I really appreciate each and every last one of you all for tuning in for this mini post-game show. If things could be changed in the future, man, I would try to grant more time for you guys. But this is all the time that I have for right now, unfortunately. But I will be back later on tonight, baby. I might do something later on tonight. So stay around, stay tuned. We got less than 2 weeks, right, for the next game. So we can't wait to see that. So hey, all the gloves come off when it's week 1. It's gonna be a real one out here. So this team, when you get down to the 53-man roster, no excuses. That better be the right guys. If I see some political stuff in this thing, trust and believe, baby, I'm gonna call it out. I'm going to point it out, and I'm going to say this is what they're doing from a political aspect of it. And we're talking about political football. Not to be on that level, but y'all know how this thing can sway left or right. But Jay Verse, appreciate you. 11 days, man. Okay. Lil Dallas Cowboy, appreciate you, man. Lil DC. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Cowboy Nation. Let's go. Let's go. I'm out. Let's go, baby. One way or another. Y'all know I love y'all. Ashaniqua, Pookie, Ray Ray, Mama, I love you. Hey. Ho. Yeah. Appreciate y'all, man. I love when y'all say great show. Get done something to me, baby. Hey, put the pants on me. Put the pants on me, baby. Let me get this thing going. Yeah. Yeah. Come on. It's all good. Defense, baby. So far, the defense outperformed the offense. Let the offense catch up now, baby. Got to. One way or another. Appreciate everybody. Appreciate you. One love, baby. Yeah. Yeah. Come on. We out. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Yeah. We out. PC for life. We still the realest. The killers from the South, baby. Pull your strap on me. You better kill me. My fofo make sure all your kids won't grow. Huh? That's the resurrection of Tupac, by the way. If you have not subscribed to this channel and you watching at this point, if you don't like the nation, you must be out of your goddamn mind. Come on. Let's go, baby. To all the haters, won't you lean forward? Yeah. Just a little bit right there. Come on.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
I want me some glory hole.
This is Sparta!
Let me see some fire emojis in the house. Shout out to Dallas. Shout out to Oak Cliff. Shout out to Richardson. Shout out to DeSoto. Shout out to Duncanville. Shout out to Waxahachie. Shout out to the DFW. Shout out to Natchez, Mississippi. Shreveport, Louisiana. Let's go. Hey, yo. Come on, come on. Hey. Oh. Mansfield, baby. I see you, Marty. Let's go. Come on. Tampa, we coming. Y'all better be ready. Dogs come out in Tampa. Come on. Until next time.